Okay, let's just dive right in. Because if you've been paying even the slightest bit of attention to the roads lately, you know something massive just happened.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about a real historic moment.
Right, December 2025.
Hey,
For the first time, the first time in the history of the car, battery electric vehicles, BEs, didn't just compete with petrol cars in Europe.
they outsold them.
They actually outsold them. The petrol era is, well, feels like it's officially over.
It's a moment historians are going to look back on.
Yeah, sure.
We have crossed the Rubicon. I mean, the data is just crystal clear. Yeah. Petrol is in decline, diesel is collapsing, and electric has taken the crown.
But, and this is where the story gets really, really interesting for our deep dive today, while the EV market is celebrating this huge win, like the company that basically invented the modern EV market, Tesla, well, they're not exactly popping champagne corks.
No, it's the central paradox of 2025, isn't it?
Yeah.
The overall market is booming. I mean, up 51% in December alone. And yet Tesla is facing what analysts are literally calling a total bloodbath.
A bloodbath. I mean, you don't use that word lightly in a financial report. So that's our mission today, to unpack what on earth happened. We are looking at a changing of the guard, a massive geopolitical shuffle, and a year that just completely redefined who owns the European roads.
And to really get it, we have to look past the sales numbers. We need to look at, trade deals, factory culture, which is a story in itself, and a very specific agreement that was signed just 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So let's start with the shrinking elephant in the room,
Yeah.
Tesla. We have the full year data for 2025 now. How bad was it really?
It's statistically startling. So
Yeah.
if you look at the whole European bloc, EU, UK, all of it, Tesla's total volume dropped from about 326,000 cars in 2024 to just over 235,000 in 2025.
Whoa. It's a drop of what, almost 28%?
27.8%.
In a market that's growing like crazy, that feels like free fall. You're losing a third of your business while everyone else is booming.
And it gets worse when you zoom in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Germany, the biggest car market in Europe and, home to Giga Berlin. You'd expect a home field advantage.
Sure, no shipping costs, made in Germany, all that.
Instead, Tesla registrations in Germany crashed by 48.4%.
Wait, hold on. Almost half their sales just vanished?
Vanished. And it wasn't just Germany. Sweden, down almost 6 to 7%. Belgium, down 53%. France, down 37.5%. This is a continental retreat.
Okay, I want to get to the why in a second, especially on France, because I know a rule change there, but I have to play devil's advocate for a minute. I saw one green spot on the charts. Norway. Sales were up 41% there. Isn't that a good sign?
Ah, the Norwegian exception. I'm glad you brought it up because it is a classic data trap. It's what economists call a demand pull forward.
Okay, what does that mean in simple terms?
So Norway announced they were changing their tax incentives starting in 2026, basically making expensive EVs, like Tesla's, way more expensive.
Ah, I see. So it's the Black Friday effect. Everyone rushed to buy before the price went up.
Exactly. It was panic buying, not organic growth. They sold 6 months' worth of cars in 1 quarter, which means they've created this demand cliff for 2026.
Yeah.
There's nobody left to buy one in January.
Right, so if you take Norway out of the equation.
The picture is almost uniformly grim.
Got it. It's artificial inflation. So, back to France, down 37%. Was that also tax-related?
It was. France changed its bonus écologique, the big EV subsidy. They started calculating the carbon footprint of the car's production and shipping.
Oh, that's clever.
And since the Model 3 is largely imported from China, it lost its subsidy overnight. Suddenly, it was thousands of euros more expensive than its rivals.
So policy is definitely a factor, but you can't lose 30% of your business just because of subsidies. There's got to be more to it.
It's a mix of things. Product fatigue is a big one. The Model Y and Model 3 have been around for a while. The competition just has fresher, newer cars on the lot.
It does feel like the Model Y went from being special to just being everywhere. It's not the cool new thing anymore.
Precisely. But then there's the soft factor. Analysts are now explicitly mentioning CEO toxicity.
You mean Elon Musk?
His political statements, his polarization, it has alienated a segment of the European buyer base that, tends to be more socially conscious. It's the classic problem when the brand becomes the man.
And that friction isn't just with the buyers, right? I read some bizarre stories coming out of Giga Berlin.
Oh, the internal culture clash. Yes. Between Silicon Valley move fast and break things and German industrial labor.
Tell me about Muggate. This story is just wild.
It sounds so trivial, but it's symbolic. Apparently, 65,000 coffee mugs disappeared from the Giga Berlin cafeteria.
65,000, that's not theft, that's a logistics operation. Where do they even go?
Nobody knows. But management made this huge deal out of it in staff meetings, using it as an example of a lack of discipline. For German workers who were used to very formal labor relations, it just came across as petty and insulting.
And then they tried to fix morale with a rap concert.
They did. They hired a German rapper, Kool Savas, to perform on the back of a Cybertruck inside the factory.
A Cybertruck, the car you can't even legally sell in Europe.
Not really, no. Pedestrian safety rules, sharp edges, all that. So just picture it. A rapper on a truck they don't build and can't buy, trying to hype them up against unionizing while management is yelling at them about coffee mugs.
It sounds like a scene from a bad corporate satire.
The reports use the word cringe. It just shows the massive disconnect.
Okay, so while Tesla is dealing with missing mugs and an identity crisis, someone else is eating their lunch.
And their breakfast.
Hammer.
And their dinner. Let's talk about BYD.
The BYD search.
Right. So while Tesla shrank by 27%, BYD grew its European registration somewhere between 228% and 270%.
270%. That's not growth, that's an explosion. It's going from a who to a major player in, what, 12 months?
They started 2025 with about 0.4% of the market. They ended it with roughly 1.4%. Now, that might sound small, but gaining a full point of market share in 1 year is massive in this industry.
And where does that put them relative to Tesla?
They've effectively caught up. Tesla's share is shrinking to around 1.8%. In fact, in Germany and the UK, in the last couple months of the year, BYD actually registered more cars than Tesla did.
Wow. Okay, that's a headline. BYD outselling Tesla in Germany. How? Is it just that the cars are cheap?
Price is a huge part of it, for sure. Models like the Dolphin, the Seagull, they're undercutting everyone.
Yeah.
But it's not just price, it's strategy. Tesla only sells pure EVs, right? BEVs.
Right.
BYD sells hybrids too. And in 2025, plug-in hybrids made up almost 35% of the entire European market.
Oh. So BYD is playing the whole field while Tesla is stuck in one lane.
Exactly. They're meeting customers where they are. If you have range anxiety, they have a hybrid for you. If you want a cheap city car, they've got one. They have a whole portfolio.
And they're not just shipping them in from China anymore, are they? They're putting down roots.
This is the really smart part, the takeover plan. They're building a factory in Hungary. They've announced another for Turkey and are looking at a third in Spain.
What?
Hungary's in the EU. Turkey has a customs union with the EU. By building there, they bypass any future tariffs. They become a European manufacturer. It completely changes the game.
Speaking of tariffs, we have to talk about that big deal. It looked like the EU was about to slam the door with huge, like 35% tariffs on Chinese cars, but that didn't happen.
No. On January 12th of this year, just 2 weeks ago, the EU and China reached what they call a price undertaking agreement.
A price undertaking, what does that actually mean?
In a nutshell, instead of a trade war, the Chinese manufacturers agreed to set minimum import prices for their cars.
So we promise not to sell them too cheap.
Pretty much, it's a soft landing. It avoids a massive trade war that would have hurt German car makers in China, but it still allows BYD to expand. It legitimizes them. It means they are here to stay.
It really feels like a whole different ballgame than just a year ago. But it's not just Tesla versus China, right? Where do the legacy guys like Volkswagen fit in?
Volkswagen is still the king of the hill. In terms of sheer volume, they have about 21% of the total market. They have the scale, the dealers, the loyalty. They are the benchmark.
And what about Stellantis? They own Peugeot, Fiat, all those brands.
Stellantis is fascinating. They're number 2 with about 16% share. But they did something really clever. They realized they couldn't beat the Chinese on cost. So they joined them.
How so?
They partnered with another Chinese brand, Leapmotor, to sell their affordable EVs in Europe. It's a classic, if you can't beat them, buy a stake in them strategy.
Smart. It really seems like the big theme of 2025 was democratization. It's not just for wealthy tech fans anymore.
That is the absolute key shift. We've moved from early adopters to the mass market. Look at France's social leasing program. They offered EVs for €100 a month to low-income households.
€100 a month? That's less than my phone bill. That's incredible.
And it got 50,000 families into electric cars. That changed the whole demographic. It's a utility now, not a luxury. And the infrastructure is finally catching up.
I saw that number. 1.2 million public charge points now in Europe.
Correct. And critically, the walls are coming down. Over 70% of Tesla's superchargers are now open to everyone. They've had to pivot from using their network as a moat to protect sales to using it as a gas station, a revenue stream.
Because they have to. If you're driving that new BYD, you might be charging it at a Tesla station.
Exactly. And the innovation isn't stopping. Did you see that pilot on the A10 motorway in France?
Wireless charging thing, yeah.
Dynamic wireless charging, charging trucks while they drive. I mean, it's still just a pilot, but it shows where we're going beyond just plugging in.
Okay, so let's look ahead. That was 2025. We're in January 2026 now. What does this year look like?
Well, the growth continues. Global EV sales are projected to hit 21.3 million. But for Tesla, 2026 can be a pivot year. They know the hardware game is getting tougher, so they're pivoting to software.
And there's a big deadline coming up, isn't there? Valentine's Day.
February 14th. Tesla is officially halting direct sales of the full self-driving package. You won't be able to buy it outright anymore.
It's moving to subscription only.
Subscription only. It's the Netflix model for your car. Instead of one big cash injection when they sell the car, they want that stable, recurring monthly revenue.
But that puts immense pressure on the software to actually work,
A
right?
huge pressure. If people are paying monthly, they can cancel monthly. If it doesn't deliver or it, tries to drive them into a curb, the churn will be brutal.
So to wrap this all up, the market has matured. It's no longer about will EVs take over? The answer is yes. The question now is who's going to make them and who's going to make money on them?
And Tesla is struggling to make that leap from a luxury disruptor to a mass market manufacturer in Europe. And BYD and VW are just rushing to fill that void.
The Wild West days are over. It's industrial warfare now. We've crossed the Rubicon, petrol is declining, electric is winning, but the brands leading the charge are completely shuffling. The Tesla retreat and the BYD surge defined 2025.
And if I can leave you with one final thought to mull over,
Please do.
look at the trends. BYD and other Chinese companies are building the physical hardware, the factories, the batteries, the cars on European soil. At the same time, Tesla is pivoting to become a subscription software company.
Okay.
Are we looking at a future, say in 2030, where the European auto industry means people driving Chinese-made hardware that runs on American-made software?
That is a slightly terrifying but very plausible vision. The car as the new smartphone. Manufactured in the East, programmed in the West.
It raises some really big questions about what it even means to be a car maker in the next decade.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. It's a complex, fast-moving story, but I hope we've made it clear where the road is heading. The electric transition is here, it's happening, but the drivers are changing seats.
Absolutely. A fascinating time.
We want to say a huge thank you to all of you for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we really appreciate you spending it with us. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.
Thank you, everyone.